With how the furry fandom has continued to gain positive support from its members and representatives, along with continual growth from new members joining the fandom every day, it can be argued that the fandom is becoming more mainstream as time goes on and the concept of furries continues to exist. Wow, that was a really good intro. Haven't had that in a long time because my mind's been in summer mode. Stay life jacket. But heyo guys, my name's BetaEtaDelota, and today we'll be talking about some furry things. The series where we discuss the cute and cuddly topics or events relating to the furry fandom. For today's installment, we'll be talking about a very specific idea that's been spreading throughout the furry fandom only recently due to the achievements of certain individuals and publications from online news sources. And after talking with multiple people online who are actually quite passionate about this topic, I'm finally confident to say that I can make a video on it. But for the grand reveal, today we'll be talking about why and how the furry fandom is becoming mainstream. This topic is actually very important to understand, especially with how the world is changing, and with that, the fandom and people's views on the fandom are changing as well. It's always nice to be informed, even though I'm not. But there is a lot to discuss with regards to this topic, and I want to cover the most prominent points that you guys can learn from the most. So please try not to be upset with me if I don't cover something specifically in this video. There's always room to talk about this or some of the aforementioned points in future videos, but like I said, I want to focus on the main factors, or at least what I see as the main factors. So with all that aside, let's talk about why the furry fandom is becoming mainstream. But wait, what does it mean for something to be mainstream, and how does it apply to the furry fandom? Well, if you recall from my Why Furries Are Weird video, I gave a simplified definition of what something means to be mainstream in today's society. The definition that I gave is that if something is mainstream, it's considered to be normal or trending. The idea is that because the furry fandom is what it is, a group of people with a similar interest in cute and cuddly cartoon animals that represent them in some way, which is very different from current societal norms, people may see the entire concept of furries to be weird or not at all mainstream, which is reasonable. But here's the thing, even if the furry fandom may not be at all mainstream, there's always that lingering word becoming that denotes why or how the fandom is slowly but surely decreasing as an abnormal community of people. It's kind of like the idea behind Damon John's The Power of Broke, where if you're at the bottom with nothing more to lose, you have everything to gain. And although I don't see the furry fandom as being at the lowest possible point, we do have all the more to gain in the idea of becoming mainstream. Soon we will be many. We will infect the majority of the population. I wonder if people will at all laugh at that. Wait a minute, I'm not funny. What am I talking about? So the first and most obvious reason why the fandom is becoming mainstream is because the fandom itself is growing in membership. It kind of just makes sense that more people are learning about the furry fandom every day and in turn may be attracted to what it has to offer. This overall growth is evident by the number of furry convention attendees increasing at an exponential rate over the years of the furry fandom existing. And yes, I did just claim that correlation is equal to causation. Quartz Husky, you can fight me. As an example, Anthrocon 2018 almost reached the highest attendance of any furry convention with about 8,400 attendees, while MFF 2017 sits as the biggest convention currently at 8,700 attendees, which I have no doubt they'll at least hit 9,000 this year. This increase in fandom activity also shows by the amount of new furry conventions, fur meets, and fur bowls being put together by fandom members all across the US, Canada, and other countries around the world. I'm looking at you, MicroFurCon. Please happen, I'm lonely in Massachusetts. Another point I want to make is that the representation we have in the fandom currently is what helps us grow and lets others potentially see past the stigma associated with furries. Let's face it, with the furries we have currently leading the fandom, real-world figures in different communities turning out to be furries, and multiple furry YouTubers with over 100,000 subscribers, it's no wonder the furry fandom is growing. I've talked about this point several times in previous videos, but people who have a connection to both the furry fandom and the outside world have a greater impact on changing the opinions of those relative to the fandom and can also influence them to join, especially Sonic Fox, who just won another EVO Championship Series. My point is being proven, guys! Even outside of the representatives we have, the furry fandom itself is an overall positive and loving environment. I think it's fair to say that the amount of fandom members that show constant love and support for others make up the majority of the furry population. Like, come on, the furry version of a handshake is a big fluffy hug. Even if that's odd for most normal people, the intention is to embrace someone and show them love. I could go for some of those right now, to be honest. Even delving a bit further, this idea goes into the concept about how every hobby or interest has some negative aspects or traits that can bring down the overall reputation. It's the idea that there is no perfect group of people with a similar interest because everyone is different in some way, shape, or form. Despite this, the overall good that the furry fandom embodies outweighs the negative aspects. We may have a very bad stigma placed on us with being furries, but the good we've done for others both in and out of the furry fandom has slowly but surely helped with that. We have countless charities that we sponsor during our conventions, we have fur meets or events where furries can give back to the community while also being who they are, and we're welcoming to anyone who wants to join the fandom, which that last one may or may not be a bad thing, but you get the point. We're cute, cuddly, and loving people. The final and probably most important point I want to make on why the furry fandom is becoming mainstream is because with time, we've grown to be more accepted by society. The idea is that it's natural for people to make poor assumptions about or fear any new groups of people or hobbies. This relates to the fear of the unknown as highlighted by H.P. Lovecraft, but you get the point. Normally, people don't like change, especially if it affects their way of life or the things and people they love. But as time goes on, and a certain change of life continues to exist, people will adapt to or accept it. Even outside of simply existing, the furry fandom has the intention of being good. We don't hurt anyone, we mind our own business, and sometimes we lend a helping hand to those in need. So with how the furry fandom is continuing to not only exist but thrive in a positive manner through the years, we are slowly but surely becoming more accepted. Even to prove this point, I and multiple other furries have heard people talk about the furry fandom in a more neutral manner rather than a negative one. Just look around on the internet yourself and you may find this. Haha, that's not true, it's the internet, everyone's obnoxious. But I am gonna be honest with you guys, as much as the furry fandom is becoming more mainstream, I don't think we will ever be fully mainstream, as in a majority of society won't embrace the furry fandom and join in. Personally, I don't see that as a bad thing at all, but that'll be a future video. In the end, the furry fandom is in a good position. We have an increasing population, we have impeccable representation, and we are being accepted more over time. However, it's up to us to shape the furry fandom into the positive and loving environment that we know it as currently. It's up to us to maintain, if not improve, the societal views towards us. So like I said in multiple previous videos, be the change that you want to see in the fandom. But that about does it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys thought about this video in the comment sections down below. I'd love to know if there are any points I might have missed or some ideas you guys might have for me to talk about in future videos. If you guys are feeling generous, feel free to support me on Patreon. I have new tiers and rewards for those who do support me, and I'm definitely looking to turn this YouTube thing into a potential career, so check it out if you're interested. And as always, stay life jacket, guys. Take care.